Hey guys, welcome back to Faith in 5 Minutes. My name's Brian, and this is the time that we get to spend looking at God's Word and growing in our walk with Jesus together. Now, I hope you had an awesome long weekend. Some of you feel like this weekend has gone on way too long and you're just ready to get back to normal. But hopefully we can provide you a little bit of encouragement as we look at God's Word together. Now, on Wednesday, we talked about Abraham, and we talked about how even Abraham had doubts, and we talked about how God gave Abraham grace even in his doubt, and he just required that Abraham be faithful and obedient to what God had called him to. And that's what he calls us to as well. God just wants us to be faithful. He wants us to be obedient, but at the same time, he recognizes full well that we'll have our own doubts. We'll have our own struggles. We'll have those things that cause us to wonder, am I making the right decision in following Jesus? And we see that even in the lives of the disciples. See, the disciples weren't perfect people. They weren't even perfect Jewish people. They had their own doubts and struggles that they had to contend with. And we even see that in their interactions with Jesus. In Matthew chapter 14, Jesus and Peter have one of the most iconic interactions of all of the four Gospels. This was the moment where the disciples saw Jesus walking on water, and Peter was the only one that was brave enough to step out of the boat and go to Jesus. But even when he does this, we see evidence of his doubt. Let's read it together in Matthew chapter 14, verses 28 through 33. It says this, "And Peter answered him, 'Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water.' He said, 'Come.' So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, 'Lord, save me.' Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, 'O you of little faith, why did you doubt?' And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, 'Truly you are the Son of God.'" Now, what we typically focus on in this particular passage was the fact that Peter began to sink, was the fact that he had doubt and he began to sink. But I don't want to focus on that so much today. I want you to focus on what Jesus did in response to Peter's doubt. See, Jesus didn't look at Peter and say, "Man, you got doubts," and let him sink. It says that Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of Peter. See, Jesus granted Peter grace in his doubt. And if you look at the life of Peter, you'll see that Jesus has the same call to Peter as God had to Abraham. Yes, you have doubts. Yes, I know you're struggling at times, but be faithful and obedient to what I've called you to. See, Jesus told Peter that his profession of faith was going to be the rock on which Jesus would build the church. As Peter went on, even after his denial of Jesus, Jesus looked at him and said, "I recognize you have doubts. I recognize you have struggles." But in Peter's restoration to Jesus, Jesus had a very simple command: feed my sheep. Be obedient and faithful to what I've called you to, because that's the purpose that I created you for. And maybe you're struggling today thinking, "Hey, what's my purpose? How is God going to use me? I still have doubts that he can use me at all." And I want to encourage you with the life of Peter. Jesus will still give you grace in your doubt. He'll still reach out his hand and immediately pick you up when you begin to sink. The only thing that he asks is that you seek him and try to the best of your ability to be faithful and obedient to what he's called you to. I hope this was encouraging to you. I hope that you will use this as a catalyst to kind of launch you into this week so that you can still have an impact for the kingdom. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow on our Instagram Live service. If you didn't know, every week we do a service on Instagram Live, and we'd love to have you join us at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Just check out the links in the description of this video for our Instagram page. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Remember, God created you for a purpose, and even in your doubt, He gives you grace. Bye, guys.